Hey you guys, so my name is NaQuera and I work with Bindlestiff Family Circus after school in Hudson, New York and Chatham, New York. Today we're gonna do something really fun because I know you guys, lots of you guys are just stuck inside. Well, let's try to have some fun while we're inside at least, right? We're gonna do a fun little flip book. Some of you guys have probably heard of it, some of you guys probably haven't. If you have, this is great. If you haven't, it's okay, like we're gonna make them. All right, so the only supplies you're really gonna need today are paper. I just have plain white printing paper. Usually I don't do more than 5 sheets. That's me personally, but because I fold mine in half, so it doubles it. You're gonna need scissors. You're gonna need some type of writing utensil, preferably a pencil, just so you can draw certain things. And then some type of coloring tool. So I'm gonna use colored pencils because I like to use colored pencils. Parents will come in handy for lots of these things. So what you're gonna do first is you're going to take your paper and fold it in half. So I already folded mine in half. Went from this way to this way. So what is that? Hamburger style? Yeah. So we're gonna fold it so it looks almost like this. And seeing as though, like, when you fold it in half, it should look already somewhat like a little book. And then, after you have a nice little crease down the middle, what you're going to do, you're going to roughly measure out how, like, roughly how wide this is here, how long it is. And what you're going to do is figure out how to split it into 3 equal sections. So I already did this with my paper just because I didn't want to take a whole bunch of time doing it. So it doesn't have to be perfect either. These are just so you have like good lines to cut. But the thing about it is where the adults come in. So I have 3 sections, roughly equal. You have a top, a middle, and a bottom section. But what I want you to make sure you do is to leave some space along the edge. So you do not cut it all the way down, okay? Because if you cut it all the way down, then your book's not gonna be much of a book. It's just gonna be a whole bunch of floppy pieces. I'm making a dotted line so I know not to pass this section. This is where the adults come into play. So, what you're gonna do, adults, please get an adult to help you with this because usually, that's why I don't usually do more than 4 pieces of paper because they can get really thick and it gets hard to cut. So what you're gonna do is just cut all the papers at the same time along those lines that you made. Again, it doesn't have to be perfect, but all that matters is that you cut them all at the same time. That way you don't have to keep drawing a bunch of lines everywhere. So it should look like that for the first strap. Well, for the first, like, strip. And then I'm gonna cut down the second line to split those 2. So usually it'll make, because like your papers are not completely together all the time, it'll make them slanted a little, but that's okay. So the purpose of this is just to have something along these lines. So how I have that, I did not cut all the way to the end, as you can see on this side. It got really close, but I didn't cut all the way to the end. And there's a special reason for that. Okay, So what I want you to do is just take your time. So here's our book. And what I'm gonna do, since you look at a book this way, is the top section is gonna be where all the heads are gonna go. The middle section is gonna be where all the bodies are gonna go. And then the bottom section is gonna be where all the legs are gonna go. So I'm just So the key to doing this is to roughly make sure that the heads and the necks line up of each and every one of your sheets. Like this one, this is a funny looking little guy. Gonna color him after. And then like if you look, I made sure that the next head lined up with the body. And like same with the torso and the legs, made sure they all lined up. That way, when it's time to flip pages, it'll all be lined up and really cool. But let me keep drawing. So pretty much at the end, you'll have a cool little book. I didn't color mine all the way, but usually you would staple it. Like you could put a cover on it, like with construction paper, or you can make your own little cover out of another piece of white paper. And you just pretty much do the same exact thing that you did with the first few sheets. And what you would do is this. You would stick all your pages on the inside and make a cool cover. So I might say like, I might say something like NaQuera's Funny Flip Book. And so here's my fancy little cover, NaQuera's Funny Flip Book. And if you look, so normally I would staple these. Don't have a stapler on me right this second. But you get the general gist. And then, so I might have like the first page be like this. And if I really want to, sorry guys. If I really want to, I can flip the top to the next page and just change the head, or I could keep flipping. So there's so many different options that you could come up with based off of the pictures that you've drawn. So like, I'll show you the second picture I drew, which was this cool little guy. And then like the third picture, this was the only one I actually colored because I really wanted to color it. Which would be, oh, my little clown. Then maybe you might want to say, you know what, like let's keep this whole circus theme going. And I got my girl on a tightrope. Woo. And then maybe I might want to keep it going. And the next page, sorry, it's all falling apart. Usually you would staple it though. The next page, maybe this girl spinning plates. And then my last page might be this cool guy riding a unicycle. So pretty much you can flip them to whichever one you want and it'll make them super duper funny. So I might want to go like just random pages. So I might have this one. And usually when it's colored, it makes it a little bit funnier. So like things that you normally wouldn't put together. So you might have even something like this, where he has on a little skirt, but he's also scuba diving. It just depends. Be as creative as you want to with this whole thing, with your pictures. And don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on the notifications. Why not? So you can catch up with us every Monday and Wednesday around 3 p.m. All right, again, this is NaQuera. I'm out of here. See ya.